emails from some of those companies tonight to say they've never worked with her. Thanks to some of the great people on Facebook who've actually gone out of their way to actually contact these people. And I've obviously kept the email addresses and stuff so you can see exactly where they're from. I've covered up who sent them though, because I don't want her to get the hate for that, them to get the hate for that. I've also, no, I'm just getting started, Danielle. And I've also contacted the families that I need to ask if I can share their stuff. Now, I'm just going to be really open for a second before I get started. There is one family I'm going to talk about tonight that I'm not going to name what missing person I'm talking about. It's still an active case. And this is a case where the police aren't doing anything. And it's one mother fighting against a whole system. And she cannot take the hate and the malicious behaviours of Rochelle, and I would never put her in that position. So I'm going to tell you the story, but I'm not going to give you the name. And I won't be pushed on that because I've had a lot of dealings with her myself, and so have my mods, where she attacked them after I blocked her, and she is someone who's not nice at all. You know, she's made up fake legal letters, she's threatened people, done all this stuff. So I will take the heat of not saying the person's name, because I'm not going to put a family under further stress than she's already caused. It's cold tonight. Yeah, she claimed to solve that, Dan, didn't she? We're gonna disprove that tonight as well. Yeah, she thinks she's quite famous, but she concentrates on UK cases, so there's no legal implications for her in Australia. She's been warned several times by the Australian police to stop doing what she's doing. So now she has moved on to the UK, and you know, I'm gonna give you what I've got tonight. Now, what I'm gonna say is I don't have everything I need tonight, right? I've got the evidence about the cases I want to talk about, to be fair. I've got receipts on it. But this isn't the last time that I'll be coming live about this. Now, I wanted this to be an introduction into what's going on, to make people aware before people lose money and stuff like that. Thank you, Observer. Thank you, everyone, for the heart me's and that, and all the gifts and the tapping, guys. You're amazing. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do today. It's kind of be an introduction, like a kind of brief summary and some of the evidence to show you. But this time next week, we're going to do another live. And on that day, I will open up the boxes and allow people to share their stories, because I think that's really important. These people have been silenced. Obviously, not all of them will want to speak. Some of them might want, you know, speak behind a green screen. That's absolutely fine. We're talking about victims here. If anyone's on a loop or it's repeating, go back out and then come back in again, because I've got Sophie in the box to stop that. So it's not my internet. I've got really good internet at the moment, not bragging. No, I've got good Wi-Fi, so it's only can be TikTok. Fat Freak is here. Yeah, I know. I was following him around the app last night and he kept calling it out in front of everyone. Are you following me? I was like, well, I am, Martha. Take your clothes off. Yeah. Sorry, Fat. Are we still here? Yeah, so what I'm going to do, my husband's really good. He keeps trying to leave me. I've been getting ideas off. I did a video today on the Venezuelan baby reindeer, and she's a woman who literally goes up to women's cars, climbs on the bonnet and just looks through their window shield while she's smiling. It's absolutely terrifying. So I was going to try and find out what vehicle Fat Freak has got. The size of me, I'm going to obviously dent the bonnet, but I still will smile at him through the window. I just want to say to everyone coming in as well, like obviously all the people that have helped me today, all the family that have literally said I could read their statements and stuff. I know what a big thing it is. Some of these families have only known that their loved one is dead for about 5 months, and they are grieving. And as well as grieving, they're having to have this fight online with a woman dragging their name through the mud because they refuse to call her out as being the person who solved this case, because she isn't. We're going to talk about Peter Bagelin tonight. That was a case close to my heart that I covered rigorously myself. So yeah. Right, we're going to turn the comments off for a minute, and I'm just going to give an introduction, and then I'm going to go through a couple of the cases. Like I said, this is just an introduction live because I've done it very quickly, because I wanted to put this out, because I'm just worried more and more people are getting duped by this woman. One of the main reasons I wanted to do it today is because I become aware that she's working with a family in my hometown, like all the way from Australia. and I saw some of these drawings and pictures, and it's terrifying that people I know may actually get hurt by this. Right, so can we just turn off the comments, one of the mods, just for a minute, while I do this? And then obviously I will turn it back on and I will give other people a chance to speak. I understand that some people follow her. I understand some people really believe in her. So let me just have a bit of my coffee and let's go. Okay, so we're doing this about Rochelle Medium, who is an actress, an entertainer, by her own admission. She is also a psychic medium. She can also look at you and tell you exactly what medical problems you've got, which I think is highly dangerous. She is someone who finds missing people by putting them inside a hotspot, which can be an area up to 14 miles long. So you're going to get them in that hotspot. Now, I believe in mediums, and I've had readings with some really good mediums, including one from Australia who wasn't Rochelle, who was brilliant. I find great comfort in it, so I imagine a lot of you do. So I know that a lot of people want to believe, honestly, and I don't talk you out of believing. But this particular one is purposely researching, infiltrating family groups under different names, learning information, finding out where searches are going to be happening, and then announcing on one of her lives, I think they need to search this particular area. This is a hotspot. And then when something is found, she's like, that's where I said it was going to be. She draws pictures of people and tries to fit it into other people she's seen online, saying it could be that person. She changes dates on things to make it look like she's predicted things. Now, this is not a personal attack. I'm not going to be talking about her home life, her family, like any of those things. Like, that's no interest to me. There is a lot of people online that are very broken people. My problem is when it affects the families of missing people, murdered people, people who are at their most vulnerable point, who are hurting. And let's face it, there is no missing person's family out there who, when they don't know where their loved one aren't open to any answers any way they need to get them. And I get emotional because I've spoke to these people and I've worked with these people and I know what it's like from their point of view. Not completely, because no one knows what it's like apart from them, but I've seen them when they're like, the police aren't listening. They think she ran away. They won't listen. I'm in touch with one mum on the app who goes out every weekend with a shovel by herself and digs around her local area because she wants to bring her daughter home. Now, if you contacted her and said, I think I can help you, she's going to bite your hand off every time. Do you know what I mean? She will take any awareness. And these are the kind of people that Rochelle is hurting. So when I first joined the app, within 2 days, Rochelle contacted me. I was constantly posting missing people from the UK, and she said, I can help. I can do your drawings. Every time I'd go live, she would come in and she would start throwing out comments in the comment section. But she would also ask me questions about cases, and obviously I'm quite good at cases. I put a lot of effort into them. So she would ask me things like, do you think they could be there? And I'd be like, no, they've ruled that out. And then I'd see a video come up with some of what I'd said. But I thought, she's not doing any harm at that point. She's just kind of making awareness. Any talking is good talking. Now, when it all started to fall apart was we disagreed a lot on the way she was talking about these cases. So she was talking about William Tyrrell, who went missing from Australia, on a live, and she was imitating how he had died and how he'd had his skull smashed in. Now, no one knows what happened to this day to William Tyrrell, so we don't know if that's what happened. But there's a way of saying it, and there's a way of acting it out and making the noises when you're talking about a 2 to 3 year old child. And I just said, I don't know if you should be doing that, because if his family walk in, and she was like, well, that's what I've seen. And I'm like, well, yeah, but still there's a nice way to say it. Like, if I had to describe the injuries of a person in a live, I'm going to do it a hell of a lot differently if I know the mum is in the room. It's just respect. So I just didn't want to go live with her or talk to her like that. Then the Madeleine McCann case hit the bump where they were going to do the dig in Portugal. Now, that day in a live, Rochelle had become aware of someone who had taken a picture of a blonde girl in Portugal working in a coffee shop. So she decided that was Madeleine McCann. This girl was about 14 years of age. And so she started going live telling everyone she'd found Madeleine McCann. So I asked her not to do that because this was a random child, a 14-year-old girl. Whether it was Madeleine or not, we didn't know. And to put it out all over the internet and be showing someone else's child wasn't the right thing to do. So she was doing that on the morning. On the afternoon, I was holding her live. And while I was live, it was announced very quickly, thank you, Louise, it was announced at that time that they were putting down all of their digging tools and stopping the search after 2 days at the reservoir. So I said live, in my experience, they've either found something or they found absolutely nothing, so they're just leaving it. So Rochelle came into the room and said, oh my God, Hayley, that's what I told you earlier. That was the tip I gave you earlier, that they found her in the reservoir. And I said, no, you didn't. You said she was in a fucking coffee shop. And at that point, my mods and me started getting loads of hateful messages, which later she apologized for. And I was like, look, you can't make guesses when we're talking about missing and murdered children. I said, what you were doing in the comments, trying to get me to agree to say that you had told me she was going to be in the reservoir, was dangerous, because I'm not going to say that you said that when you didn't. So anyway, Madeleine wasn't found, and she then messaged me saying, I told you she was in the coffee shop. And I was just like, you're just guessing now. This is a lot of guesswork. So 3 or 4 days later, I was doing a live about a different crime, and Noah Donahoe's mum, the boy that was found in the storm drain in Belfast at 14, a very mysterious case, came in the room. I was in the box with Rochelle, just discussing some hate she was getting on live. She asked to come up, she wanted to tell me about it. At the time, I still believed in her ability, so I just was kind of listening to her. Noah Donahoe's mum said, I've wanted to speak to Rochelle for so long, Hayley. Can you get her to answer a question for me? And I was like, do you want to do that live, or do you want her to come and speak to you off the app? And Fiona said, no, it's fine. We can do it here. So I said to Rochelle, would you answer a question for Noah's mum? And she said, yeah, give me his name, let me Google it, and I'll bring him up. As soon as she saw the picture of Noah, and I literally don't even want to cry, but I just feel so guilty for this, because obviously I wish I'd never put Fiona in this position. It causes me sleepless nights that this happened. Okay, as soon as she saw that Noah was a mixed race, she said, oh, I think he's been HUNG from a tree, which was just because he was mixed race, you automatically went to a lynching. And it was just so careless to say that in front of a mum. Like, if you had that information, even if you believed it, why would you not stop and say, look, I do see something, but can I send you a message? Why would you? And the way that she said it, and I literally that day was like, don't ever speak to me again. Like, you have put me in such a position where this woman who is my hero, who is literally, when I talk about missing children, I'm like, if everyone, or murdered children, if everybody did it like her, anyone worked like she did, like, we would have so many cases solved. If you want to learn about Fiona Donahoe, go and watch her interview, the podcast with James English. Like, this woman is everything, like every mother should be. And I was devastated, and I was messaging Fiona like, I'm so sorry. She was really hurt by it, but she didn't blame me. So that's what came to me blocking Rochelle. And at the time, I just thought, I didn't think she was even fake at the time. I think I just thought she was really gruff and really rough around the edges and had no empathy. And sometimes with Australian true crime, and I'll just say this because it is the difference, right? Australians use different words than us, and you'll watch an English true crime program, it's very delicate, and you watch an Australian one, and because of their terminology is different, they're like, and then she was bashed, and it's very different, and it's not something we're used to, so it comes across as quite like, oh my God. But it's just a difference in kind of countries. So I just thought maybe that's what it was, like she didn't have people skills. Then it comes to the Cardiff 5, so we're going to talk about this now, and I will be showing some evidence in this one. So the Cardiff 5 went missing. It was a group of 5 kids, they'd been partying together, and they just disappeared. Now, searches were done by the police, they weren't found. And eventually, a couple of days later, some of the boys in the car, their friends and their dad, went out looking. They found the car. And 3 of the people in the car were already dead. They'd been there for days, upside down in the car, and 2 of them survived. Now, Rochelle learned about that case. Obviously, she's in Australia off my videos, which I feel guilty for as well, but obviously I can't control that. Now, a little while after they were found, she started coming live and claiming that she'd solved the case and that she had been the one to speak to their family on the phone. She'd given them the tips, she'd sent them to do searching and stuff. Now, I thought that was really strange because I'd been in contact with one of the girls in the Carr sisters. She'd never mentioned that. She just said, you know, one of the men kind of knew where the phones had last pinged and just thought, we're going to have to go out and look, the police aren't doing anything. And that's when he saw tyre tracks going off the side of the road. He found the car. So I'm just going to show the newspapers that say who found, who actually did find the Cardiff 5. And then I'm going to show you screenshots from the man who found the Cardiff 5, just to kind of back up what I'm saying. And again, if some of you are determined not to believe, you're not going to, but obviously I'm just trying to put out what I have for now to show you, because anyone from Cardiff pretty much knows she didn't solve that case. She didn't get involved in that case. She literally went live after the car had been found, and I'll show you the dates in a minute. So the day she put out her drawing of where the Cardiff 5 were was 2 days after the victims got out of hospital. They'd been found and like were on their way to recovery by the time she put that out. So how can she have foreseen something? I've never known a psychic work after the date, after the fact. It doesn't make sense. So let me just get up the, where's my, enhance. I couldn't even find the button then. You have to bear with me a second, guys. Anyone who watches me all the time knows that my greatest thing isn't my wants to know who she is. This is who Rochelle is. You might recognise her from lives and stuff like that. This is who we're talking about. So let me just. So you can see from here, they were found. So Matthew Pace and his son Lewis discovered the crash scene. So they discovered it. So obviously the only people that would really tell us that they found it because of her would be them. And they are saying absolutely not. They'd never spoke to Rochelle. They'd never had any contact with her. So the dad, let me just make that a bit smaller so we can read it all. The dad who was with son Lewis, who said he was best friends with Raphael, who was in the car, was criticising the police, blah, blah. And then he goes on to say, man who found car was best friends with one of the victims. Again, so this is coming from all of the different places. Matthew Pace, 45, and his son Lewis told the Sky News they'd found the car in a wooded area along the A38. Man found friend dead. Matthew Pace, after 15 minutes of searching, they had found tyre marks leading off the road into the wooded area. And you can see the green kind of area there, and they found the car off there. This is from Matthew Pace. So let's go this one first. So someone said, oh, that's really sad. You deserve the recognition for saving those 2 lives. And he put, but the joke is it didn't pan out like she's saying. The only reason I went to the area was because someone shared a post saying their phones were still active in that area. So my boy, who's best mates with Raphael, said, let's go and have a look. I know the way he would go to Newport, and that's where we seen the tyre tracks coming off the roads into the woods. I discovered them, and then she messaged me. Did you find them because of me, she said, which is the truth, no. And as soon as I said no, she went nuts. And she says, but there was a gypsy girl who turned up about 6 minutes after the police, and she was claiming it was her too. So when it comes out in the press that I had to go to court because they're charging the police with something, she's going to look like a right weird liar. So Rochelle wasn't the only psychic person who turned up at the scene after it was online. Obviously she didn't, she was in Australia. And someone's put, no way, she's crazy. She did a post on a TikTok afterwards saying that she helped you find them. And then if you look here, so survivor Sophie Russon leaves hospital for the first time. Now look at the date on that post, okay? Sophie left the hospital on the 22nd of April. Okay, so that's after she's been in the accident, after they've been found, and after she's been in the hospital for some period of time. She is then released from the hospital. Then Rochelle puts up this post, 5 people missing in Cardiff, with her drawing on the 29th, 7 days after Sophie is released from the hospital. And this is the video. And you can see down here, like obviously she's reposted twice on her accounts. The original post was from the 29th. And then 3 hours ago, before we took this shot, she had reposted it. But this is, how can she have called something over 10 days after they were found? You just put this video up and go, well, I must have found them because this is my drawing here. Well, you've just drawn what you've seen already in the media. And it's just, do you know what I mean? You make it make sense. And things like this, I don't think she's particularly worried about, like the discrepancies in dates, because it's not in Australia. So she's not legally going to get really in any trouble because she's picking a country completely away from where she lives. Now, I don't know about other people. Like, I'm not being in any way, like, strange about this, but if I had a psychic gift, which I believe some people do, where I could help find missing people, I'm going to start on my doorstep. So I'm going to start with local cases that I can go out to, that I can get a feel for, that I'm not having to use Google Maps, like where I'm going to get more of a kind of reading on things. Then I'm going to start asking, if people request the odd case, I'm going to be like, well, I can have a look, but I'm not from the area, don't really know the place. Anyone can look at Google Maps and say, thank you, Felicity, for subscribing. Thank you so much. If you ask me about a missing person now, you give me a name, any name. Let's say there's someone called John, because I don't want to use a real person to use an example. But say you said John was missing from the Exeter area of Devon. Then I'm going to go on Google Maps and I'm going to go, right, in Exeter, there's about 4 big wooded areas. Right. Where did he get? Right. Okay. So I reckon he's in that area. He's somewhere around there. I'll give you a hotspot of 3 miles, which is what she does. In one of the cases I've worked on, she's give a hotspot of 14 miles, which is 2 different towns in 2 different counties that goes right along the coast. And she said somewhere there, which is bizarre. So she's given a hotspot of 3 miles. He's going to be found somewhere inside that hotspot. Chances are you're going to be right 15% of the time. Probably 50% of the time, because everyone's going to be missing people, especially if they're doing it on purpose. They're going to unalive themselves. They're going to go somewhere close to where they've gone missing. So she did not solve the Cardiff 5 case. Now, next time I go live next week, I'm going to try and have one of the family members on who is quite open about speaking about this and how much a hate campaign has been launched against him since this came out. Now, obviously, Matthew Pace as well has had some horrific emails. He's been trolled. He's had things said about him and his family because he refused to say live or in a post that she found them, or that it was one of her posts on TikTok that inspired him to do that search. And he has got a really good head on him, where he's literally looked and gone, their phone last pinged here, that's the area I'm going to search. That makes so much sense to me. And thankfully he found them. And thankfully 2 of them are still alive. So thank you, Matthew, and thank you, Lewis, if you are here. So one of the cases I want to talk to you about, the one I said I wouldn't name who the missing person is, the reason I won't name is because this is a missing girl. She's still missing to this day. She's a UK case. I've worked with her mum, and her mum is like a one-man band at solving this case because the police aren't interested. So I'm not going to throw her name out there so that she can be hounded, stalked and hated on by Rochelle, because I know how vicious and vindictive she can be, because I've seen the emails and she sent me some pretty horrific ones before. So this mum contacted Rochelle on Facebook and said, I've heard about your work. I've heard you've solved all these cases. Can you help me? So Rochelle says, yes, I will. I'll go live on TikTok. I'll draw you a map. Because obviously she has to use it for content as well, just not work with the family. She drew a map and she drew an area. She pointed out a hotspot that was, I don't want to give you the places exactly because it will tell you who it is, but say she said Exeter to Plymouth, okay? And the mum then went back and said, I'm the only one searching with our sisters, and we're going out at night and weekends when we're off work. So could you narrow that down, because 14 miles is a long place to search, a big place. And she got an email back saying, don't ever contact me again, you ungrateful bitch. Do you know how many missing people's families want my help? Now, I've seen that email, and like I said, whether you believe me or not, I will not be putting that out, because I'm not going to throw this family. It's just not going to happen. There's loads of people requesting to come live. I'm not accepting anyone on this live. Just because it's not a hate campaign. I literally, until I know what you're coming up to say, it's just not going to happen. And I will do a live, like I said, next Wednesday where people can, is it Wednesday? Yeah, where people can come up and talk, but this isn't that live. So, Peter Beglin. Peter Beglin was a case that was quite close to me because when I first learnt about it and I saw the pictures and people were sending me the case all the time, he was a man that visited my hometown all the time. Like there's pictures of him on my pier. I recognised him a little bit. He spent a lot of time down here. I'm not going to put out my hometown, but yeah, it was down in Devon anyway, and he used to come here on holiday. When I saw a picture of him and his wife, I was just like, oh my God, she so needs answers. Now, I'm not going to get into the full case. All of these cases at some stage I probably will cover because I feel like I'm just giving you a little bit of them, but it won't work if I go into full cases. So Peter Beglin was missing and he had a group set up for him on Facebook, from my understanding, for tips and like searches and stuff like that. Now, Rochelle Medium started putting out some quite horrific tips that she was giving also to Peter Beglin's wife. And those tips included things like, your husband's been kidnapped and a woman has him tied up in her house and she's drugging him. And when you're telling that to a missing person's family and you're coming across as you're reputable, you're telling them the police have verified you in Australia, which is bullshit, and you're telling them that you've solved all these different cases, that wife's going to be like, okay. And it also gives Peter's wife an inclination that he's still alive because he's being held hostage right now. So there's hope. So she's going to cling to that. Now, the person who is running the actual group on Facebook kind of calls that out and says to Rochelle, like, that's so damaging. You're saying that with absolutely no proof at all. And this is somebody's loved one. So then Rochelle goes live on TikTok and she has a vision that somebody with the same name who said that to her has killed Peter Beglin. Now let me just get up this post. I might put it on the screen so you can read it with me because otherwise you can see that I haven't pulled out my ass. So then she starts attacking this person who's asked her to be more respectful to Peter's family. And she starts having visions that he's the killer, or she's the killer, sorry. Their name is Bob, and I'm not sure if it's male or female just because it's just a name they go by online, so I'm really sorry. But I'm going to put the post up anyway so you can look at it with me. I think I saved everything order. This is Peter Beglin anyway, just to show you. And I just want to show you that that's not what happened to Peter. So his inquest actually found that his death was a combination of drowning, hypothermia, acute alcohol intoxication, and ketoacidosis, I think it's called. And it was an absolute accident. So Peter Beglin from Boothstown vanished from home on December 28th last year and was missing for almost 10 weeks before his body was eventually uncovered in a boggy undergrowth at the bottom of a steep embankment near the Bridgewater Canal towpath. Very sad case. So, no, that's not the one I wanted. That's a different case. In a second. Let me just go back a minute, guys, because I've literally... There we go, I think it is. Nope. I will find it in a second. It's hard because everything's so small. Give me a second and I'll find it. Yeah, okay, here we go. So this is the post, okay, and I actually have the person who wrote this in the room now, so it's not a fake thing, it's not a troll thing, and obviously I've confirmed that they were part of part of the Peter Beglin Facebook group and everything else. So can't stand her. I ran the page for Peter Beglin and organised searches, etc. And she actually had the audacity to accuse me of being involved. She said she had a psychic vision of my name, Bob Lee Bob, which is my Facebook name. She harassed the search crews that actually went in to look for Peter, and she had Peter's family running around like headless chickens, believing he was still alive and was being kept by a woman who drugged him. I stood with Leanne right next to where her dad was found, and let me tell you, it's real. This is someone's life. Peter was someone's dad and granddad. She still brings this up now on TikTok trying to claim she was right. She wasn't right, and it's never been about any case. She has a mental health issue as confirmed by her sister. Now, I'm not going to go into the rest of that because I literally am not going to talk about her mum, etc. How do I take? Yeah. But that is from someone who read the group, who actually become the focus of, as soon as he didn't agree and asked her to be more respectful, she then was going live saying she had a vision that someone called Bob Lee Bob was involved in the disappearance of Peter Beglin. Now, bear this in mind, this is a man or woman, sorry, I really don't know, obviously, just because I assume if you're called Bob, you are a man. But this person, let's say, had dedicated their time to not only going on actual physical searches, but being admin and creating a Facebook group for people to help find Peter, to take the stress off his family at that time. And just for saying, can you be more respectful of the things you're saying and guessing at, it began a hate campaign against them, and they become the perpetrator of a crime when no crime was actually committed. And again, the drawings and everything else were exactly the same as so many other cases. Now, Rochelle is a very clever woman. Don't get me wrong. Like, she's very clever, and I'm going to show you something in a minute that proves to you that she literally herself says, I read people, I read their traumas, and I can, thank you, Bob, I can read kind of people after 30 years of experience. I now know how to approach them. Now, she's not talking about mediumship in that time. She's talking about business. But that shows someone who's kind of saying, like, I can fit things around people to work on them. Now, every single drawing I've ever seen her draw has involved water, normally a bridge. There's always a blue barrel, and there's always graffiti. Now, that is a theme. And there's a couple of people on Facebook today who she's told them never ever record my lives because it is something that will get you arrested, because it's my property. And I've said to them, you can record whatever you want. It's alive and it's public, on public platform. Like, you can do what the fuck you want with it, to be fair. They were trying to share an image that she'd had of Leah Daly, who's missing at the moment. She's trying to get involved in that case now. And they were just trying to share what she'd kind of said for other people to go and do the searching. And she'd kind of said, you need to take that down, because she doesn't want proof left behind. Like, if you're trying to help people, you'd be like, use whatever you want off my profile. I say to people all the time, my missing person posts, share them on your social media, share them on X that I'm not on, share them on Facebook, share them everywhere. I'm never going to say that's my video, you've not credited me. It's not about that. It's about the people. It's just madness. So Peter Bagelin, she did not solve that case. And she has not literally done any more than making some random guesses on that. And like Bob says, like, I was there when his daughter found out. Thank you, Bob, so much. This is Bob, just to prove it's real, and I haven't made him up. Or her, sorry. I've probably got it so wrong. He was there when Peter's body was discovered, and this wasn't a murder. He wasn't drugged. He wasn't held against his will. And to be fair, right, that's quite a sick thing to come up with, yeah, when it's not even part of the truth. Like, I've seen mediums, and I've actually had readings from mediums who say, like, I won't tell you anything negative. Like, I'm not going to tell you about death or anything like that. Don't ask me that. You know, my job is to give you like some comfort and just answer some questions, but there's some things I'm not comfortable saying, which is how things should work, really. Do you know what I mean? You know, because you could be wrong. Even if you get a sense of feeling a hotspot, whatever it is, there is a chance you could be wrong. So who wants to go to a missing person's family and say, oh, this horrific thing's being done, this has happened to him, that's happened to him, and then you find out that that's not even true. So let me just turn my page over for my notes. So we've done that right. I now want to talk about another missing person case, which is Josh Shaw from Wales. Now, Josh, she claimed to solve that case. She claimed that she pointed them towards a hotspot. Once they searched that hotspot, voila, they found Josh. Now, when Josh's family were contacted by her within hours of Josh being found, and she said to them, look, you need to give me a shout out now to say I found Josh. They had just found their loved one, and they were like, no. So she became very nasty very quickly. I'm going to play you a clip in a minute of her deciding that all of Josh's family must be druggies because they're not agreeing with her. Now, this is a missing persons family that you decided that you really cared about and that you really liked them and you were going to help them for free. And as soon as they've said, leave me alone to grieve for a minute, you've then actually decided to attack them on several lives, on Facebook posts. I'll show you some of her Facebook posts about this family as well. I've actually reached out to Josh's auntie today, and I'm going to read what she's told me about how they found Josh and her experience with Rochelle, because this is a family who are still grieving, man. And within hours, she was like, you know, don't worry about that. Sorry you found him, but can you just tell everyone I did it, that I found him for you. Now, Josh's auntie, I'm going to read it to you in a minute, but she said if they had searched the area where they were sent to search that day, they still wouldn't have found Josh today. They were lucky that they were going somewhere else and the tide was away where he was found that day, thank God. But if they had gone to the area she was pointing them to on the map and this area is her hotspot, then the tide would have changed again and Josh wouldn't have been found. So thank God they literally listened to themselves. Now, one thing that really made me upset, and I don't want to get upset about it now, but she actually dared in this post that she put on Facebook about his family, tell Josh's family he would be disappointed in you because they wouldn't put out that she'd found him. Like, who does that when somebody has lost a loved one, then turns around and said he would be disappointed in you? Like, the sickness in that. Like, I'm sorry I get upset, but honestly, like, there's real people behind this, and there is people that are being attacked on a daily basis, and there is many people that are staying silent right now on these other cases that she's had nothing to do with, because they've seen how nasty she is and the cult following that she has. And that's why it became really important that I was the one to do this today, because, you know, I'm getting upset as it is, but imagine being a family member, you're trying to grieve, and you've got someone online calling you a druggie and disrespectful and telling you your loved one would be disappointing in you and all of this, and you're still trying to go to bed at night with this ache in your heart and this, literally these visions in your mind. Like, this is the worst thing you could do to a family. So I'm just going to show you, Rochelle's post, and then I'm going to show you, let me have a look. So we want to go here. I can really muck this up. Okay, so this is after the family refused to say, and this is on Rochelle's own page. What sort of person actually uses someone to find their loved one and then joins a hate group as a main abuser afterwards to taunt that person? I wish I'd never helped your family. You don't deserve it. Josh would be horrified in you. You're lying now in your group, just like you lied about my help, even though I have proof that my search led to that search that night and guided you to the area he was found just up the bridge and into the old tunnel, the same as all our other visions. I don't know how you sleep at night with yourself. He'd be disgusted in you. Treating the person who told you where he was and used him to get him found. I like this. And then she's called out their name and said disgusting behaviour. Now, the family could have said anything about her, but instead they literally just said, all we want to do is grieve in peace. We're still grieving. It's hit our family so hard and we're really struggling. Rochelle has done nothing but drag our family through the mud at all because she didn't get a shout out on Facebook less than 24 hours after Josh was found. None of my family have spoken to her since January. Over the last 4 months, I've been sent loads of videos of her calling my family all sorts, from druggies and scums. And all we wanted was to be left alone. Now, anyone even in here who is attacking me, reporting me, or literally thinks that I've got no right to do this or it's a personal attack, ask yourself if that is reasonable behaviour. Even if she had found Josh, which she didn't, is that reasonable? Is that reasonable? If you contact a family on Facebook who are missing a loved one and say, I've just seen a tent site set up in the back field, do you want to go and check it out? And they go there and they find the remains of their loved ones, do you then have the right to message them and say, put a Facebook status up telling you I give you that tip? You tell everyone now that I found you. You wouldn't have found him if it wasn't for me. He'd be horrified in you right now. Disgusted. How dare you not call me out? Is that normal behaviour? Like, who does that? Do you know what I mean? Within 24 hours. Thank you, Louise. And thank you for staying here today, because I know that obviously you are a supporter of Rochelle, or you were. I don't want to judge on what you are now, but thank you for at least coming to hear me out, because that's all I really want is people to listen. Because even if one family distance themselves, or maybe don't have this false hope, like this false hope that they're about to get answers when actually they're just being taken advantage of. So I'm going to read you this out now from Josh's family. Let me just get it open. Sorry, I've got the slowest tablet in the world. Why don't I open 6 calls at once? Thank you guys so much. Thank you. You don't have to gift at all. Right, it's just opening in the slowest possible way. Thanks, Vicky. Thank you, Candy Girl. Okay, so I'm going to be really open. I'm just going to start with my whole conversation, including what I said, because I think that gives you a fair thing. So I said, hi, can I just ask, was it Rochelle who led to the search for Josh or not? I'm just looking for clarity. And they said, a family member asked Rochelle to help as we heard she'd found the Cardiff 5. So we're willing to try and give anything a go to find Josh. She gave us 3 to 4 hotspots going down the river, as everyone knew he went in the river. All the places she said turned out to be nothing. She got added to a private group by herself, and my family said they were going to be searching a certain area, so she did see us say we were going there that day. It was around train tracks, tunnels, etc. So then she said, okay, you need to look for the blue or purple flowers, as the flowers are really significant. But we couldn't find them, and we needed to look somewhere else. So if we'd listened to Rochelle, Josh wouldn't have been found that day. The only reason Josh was found is because the rain had eased off and the water levels had dropped significantly. And I said, can I read your messages? I won't give your name, just that you're a relative. So sorry for your loss. And she said, once Josh was found, my family thanked everyone in the group for their help. But Rochelle came back less than 24 hours after the family members found Josh, asking for a person to shout her out on Facebook. And because she was told by a friend of Josh that she wasn't the one who found her and she didn't help us in any way, she went nuts. She put loads up on her page about us the day after we found Josh, with her followers calling us names, and it's been going on for nearly 5 months. She's done lives. She's called us druggies, scum, low lives. And then I just said, I'll contact you after the live because I wanted to be obviously able to express my condolences more. But obviously it was like 5 minutes before I come live and I left it too late. So I'm going to play you just a video, just a brief one. There are loads of them that you can look up. But I just want to, did I send you, Sophie? I did. I'm hoping, I can't play the actual video because it will get taken down the live, but I'm hoping you'll be able to hear the audio. Thank you, Kerry.
One family, Josh, that I got on a family chat with. I told him to go look at a location. I tuned in to have my drawing. It was a bunch of young guys, all druggy type family. They went out to location with some other locals that helped them, that believed in me, who had helped me with Martin Clatsworthy before. Within 2 hours, they found his body near my hotspot, and where I told him to go look near the cave-like things and described like the bridge that he was found near and everything like that. And I was like, oh my God, he's found. I especially stayed up like late, past 10 o'clock for this family and his mates who were searching. And I'm so insulted and so hurt because this was a guy called Josh in the UK, in Wales. So they found his body about 200 metres or 100 metres from the focal middle point of my hotspot, which I sent them to, stuck in the bank. And I wrote back and said, oh my God, then someone insulted me and said, you didn't find him or something. And I said, please, in the group family chat, please, can you let these guys know and put it straight that I helped you find Josh, that was my location I gave you, and stayed up late of my time to give you, and, was up all night monitoring. And the young guy that found him and saw him turned around to me, rudely spoke to me like I was a piece of shit, and said, no, you didn't. I said, what are you talking?
So that's basically her clip of her saying, basically justifying that after just within 24 hours that she's contacted them, and her first message has not been, I'm really sorry, or, oh my God, my thoughts and prayers are with you. It has been, can you give me a shout out? And when someone's saying, well, no, because it wasn't your tip that led us to him, she's then said, I've stayed up till 10 o'clock for your family. Like, what kind of person who's doing something just to help would even think of that? Do you know what I mean? I've covered cases where I've been following missing people where I've not slept for a whole night because a 13-year-old or 11-year-old child's been missing, and I'm updating the browser constantly. And as soon as they're found, I think, oh, thank God. I don't think I want to contact their family or say, like, remember I did that video for you? I just removed the video, the person's found, and you move on. Like, it's just, you just think, oh, thank God for that. Like, you just don't even think about putting out videos about where they were found, what they were doing, how they were found, because that's not your business. They've been found now. That's the end goal. So that was Josh Shaw. Now I just want to, I will be covering more cases and I will be having more people on. This is just a very, very, very brief look because it's an hour-long live. I don't want to overwhelm you guys with loads of stuff because I don't want the message to get lost. Now, I just want to say, I've never ever seen another medium who goes on Google and then starts making guesses from comments in the audience. And honestly, you can look at it yourself. There is a post about the Sebastian Rogers case that she's trying to solve at the moment, and the Leah Daly case. You can see her in the comments saying, was she in a car? Did she drive? What colour was her coat? And then going live on TikTok saying a vehicle wasn't involved. But then, of course, there wasn't a fucking vehicle involved. You just asked her mum. Like, honestly, and I get so angry about it because there are people out there, psychic mediums, searchers, people that help, like people that actually do this and do this out of the kindness of their heart. And once you're a family and you've been burnt by one of these people, you're never going to trust anyone again. And I've seen cases where a psychic's taken money off a family or let them down, and then someone else has come forward who truly wants to help, and they're like, no, thank you. I've heard the stuff you've said, and it's scarred us. And when it's someone as rough around the edges as Rochelle, who's guessing, as a guess, your son has been hung from a tree, or has been bashed in the head with a rock, and that's a guess, and it turns out it's not true. Like, imagine that parent that slept for 4, 5, 6 nights before they found their kid, thinking that's actually happened. Peter Bagelin's wife, sitting up thinking he's tied to a chair somewhere, being drugged and sexually assaulted or whatever by a woman, when actually he'd had an accident. And that may have stopped some of the family searching, thinking he's in a house, he's somewhere. Like, this is so harmful. I really hope people can see this is guesswork at its best. And I tell you, if I wanted to come online, I have a good way of reading people, I know a lot about crime, and I know a lot about missing people thing, I could make some really, really educated guesses. And I've made some kind of, not guesses, but predictions in cases before. I'm like, something big's going to happen tomorrow, you know, and something big happens. And that's not me being psychic. That's me reading other cases and knowing, like, you know, 90% of kids get found in the first 74 hours. And, you know, you're bound to be within 100 meters where you went missing. If it's, you know, there's just different things that people can guess. You know, she does it outside of Australia mainly because she knows the police have asked her to stop doing this. She's not registered as a medium in that country on like the psychic thing, like list and that they have, because there's been strikes against her because of things that she's done. There are certain police officers who have spoken out before, and then the rest of Australia don't seem to know who she is, but she keeps saying she's famous over there. There's been constant GoFundMes. There was one where she needed a new mobile phone, but a lot of people on TikTok paid for the new mobile phone with the belief they would be helping more missing people's families because she needed one to do the searches. She's had a GoFundMe for 1 million Australian dollars to have thank you, Chase, a health and wellbeing holistic centre. And she told people she could save people. She'd be able to help people with cancer. She'd be able to help people with missing people. She'd have her own kind of like base to go from. And she tried to do that. I think it got about £1,000. But that was a fucking cocky ask to ask for. Can I have 1 million? And I think she thought people would pay it because people are passionate about missing people and we want to help. And sometimes we don't know what else we can do if we don't live in the area, rather than contribute. Thanks, Chase. She's also had a GoFundMe for pets bills for like her cat needed a really bad operation. She needed a new home, and then obviously she did use her son to try and get that as well, which obviously people do feel sorry for those things, and you can take advantage of people those ways. I get to come live tonight and tell my community, like, me and my kids, we're going to be on the streets. I know full well by the end of the day I'd have enough to move into somewhere else, but I choose not to do that because I know these people are lovely, lovely people. Thank you, Seaside. And you just don't do that to people. One of the things that's really worrying me as well, and I'm just going to draw attention to this, you can go and see it yourself if you're one of her followers, one of her friends. Don't want to go so red. She now has thank you, Chrissy. She has a new Facebook, like a group where she's asking if you want to become a member, you have to send her a photocopy of your passport or your ID to prove it's you. This shows me two things. One, that she's so paranoid about being exposed because she knows she's a bullshitter and she can't stand on her work. And two, she's going to have access to your financial information. If I get your passport off you, I can open up store cards, bank accounts. Oh, thank you so much. Is it Quirky? Thank you, Quirky. She can open up anything in your name. So she also has your ID. Now, I've seen one case with her, where I won't name the woman because I haven't asked her yet, but if on the next live I will ask her, where she asked someone to send her money via PayPal, and when the woman then called her out for being shitty in cases, she said, I don't think you should have done that when you give me your full name and address in PayPal. And then started threatening this woman and you know, her job and stuff. She's recently made up that she's got affiliation with a law firm in Texas, and she's been sending people cease and desist letters. You can send me one as well. I'll wipe my ass on it. It's literally, why would you go to a law firm in Texas and then start paying money to take out loads of legal documents on people? She actually told people on her live she needed £5,000 to get rid of these bullies who were stopping her finding missing people. I want people to know my intention isn't that. My intention isn't, I've left this for over a year. It's only when I realised she was still hurting people's families that I've even said anything. I honestly felt as well like I needed to get a bigger account in order for people to take me seriously, and realise I wasn't doing anything for clout. I do well on here on my own. I make a lot of awareness. My video views are good. My lives are always popular. This isn't something I'm doing off the back of needing anything from Rochelle. let's turn the comments back on. That's all I've really got for tonight. I just want an introduction and to give you some real examples. I knew the Cardiff 5 thing was going to be the biggest one because it's the case everybody goes to, but she solved the Cardiff 5. Can I just ask I just want to ask, and I just want people to put yes or no if I've changed anyone's mind or if I've opened anyone's eyes, because that's all I want to know. Thank you, JKC. That's all I want to know. So no, Sonny, you're gonna stick with it. That's fine. I don't expect to. Okay. I don't expect people who are hardcore fans to back me. Like, it isn't about me getting new followers. I have enough followers. Do you know what I mean? And I only want the right kind of followers, that people that want to, look at my content. You know what I mean? It's got to really be. It's really focused. But I do believe I bought the receipts today for everything I've said. I do believe they've all been available anyway. There's 2 brilliant groups on Facebook that are constantly working to make awareness. And they've done so much. And a lot of the evidence, I've just gone to them and said, have you got this and that? Because I haven't actually collated it all myself. Miss Loyalty Queen, who's in here, has literally, I've had me voice noting her all day, every day, all day long. Like, do you have this though again? Have you got that again? No, but I need to have that next to that, so can you send me that again? And she's literally just been amazing, and she's just have so much receipts. And it's not something even where we worked together, because I didn't know who Loyalty Queen was before today. It's literally where I've just reached out to her and she's trying to do a similar thing. So it's not like a group of people trying to get together. This was something I said to my mods. How long ago now? 3 weeks ago, when I said I can't live with watching these families being hurt. At some stage, I'm going to have to do this. Do you know what I mean? Can you kind of go over her deal? What do you mean, Amanda, over her deal? Are you saving it on your page? Lovely. I'm going to put this live out on YouTube, on my YouTube, because it's a big one and it's over an hour long. But I do any cases where I actually interview family members and stuff like that, I'm going to start putting on YouTube. And then if any of you guys need to look at it again, you can go and see the whole the video. So anyone who's just come in, I'm talking about Rochelle Medium. What I'm going to say to you is, she is going to attack me now, right? She is going to go for me, and she's going to say absolutely awful things about me, and she's going to bring up lies about me. I'm going to end up with that I've got a criminal record, that I'm this, that I'm that. That's amazing, guys. Thank you so much. 98.97% of people actually believe in the evidence and stuff. And you're not backing me. You're backing these families, these people that have been hurt. Do you know what? I knew it was going to happen. But do you know what? I'd rather it was me than these families who she's angry at, who she's messaging them, calling them druggies and scumbags, and alluding to the fact they've got something to do with their cases. Like, do you know? Like, I know I got upset twice in this live, and honestly, that's honestly like, people who follow me know that I get upset. Like, if I'm reading out a parent's statement, like, that's why I do these cases, because I care, because I'm an empath and it lives in my heart. Like, every single one of these cases I touch, I remember forever. Thank you, Mark, Andrew, thank you so much. I don't touch on serial killer cases because, oh, Holly, thank you so much. I don't do serial killers because their cases are victim numbers. You know, like he had 10 victims and you just learn all about the killer and not about the victim. I'm never about that. So to know that these families are being hurt is so scary. Justice for Noah, 100%, Shazza. You have new team members and Rochelle is getting deleted and blocked. Sophie, thank you. Thanks, Hal. Thanks, Soph. That's just my mod showing me love because they know how nervous I was about tonight. I think it's one of the only times I've been nervous going live. Look, you tell I've got red marks on my neck and everything because I just thought everyone would hate me, and I literally just thought everyone's going to think I'm being hateful, and I'm not a hateful person. Like, I never wanted to do that. I don't do drama lives. I don't do out in other content creators like live. I don't have people in my boxes attacking people. But just as a mum, thinking that like that, I don't even want to think about that with my children. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Dad Lone Woo. Just thinking that someone would prey on you at that time. Thanks, Kiki and Tilly. prey on you at your weakest possible moment when you're desperate to know, like, where is my child, and come at you with this horrific story. That is often what she's saying is far worse than actually the true story. And I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand. People have come to me before with about claims about Madeleine McCann, like, I heard this happen and that happened. I'm like, I'm not going to speculate about a 3-year-old child. Like, there's no proof, so I'm not going to talk about it. That's gross. So for her to be there saying, you know, he was tied to a chair and she was bashed in the head and she's like being held captive, and none of it's true. No, so I don't think she charges the family money. So the way she makes her money is by getting people to donate and pay for services. So I'll put a price list up. But by using the victims' families and saying she solved cases, it gives her a basis for more people to believe her. So for $50, she can look at you and tell you what's wrong with you medically. Now, do you know how dangerous that is? Do you know how dangerous it is to mess with people like that? Now, quite a large percent of the public have, she has charged families in the fact, has she? That doesn't surprise me. So quite a few people who are like scared of hospitals, medical treatments, they've had like a bad time, they have like trauma. I don't care if she's live talking about me, Melody. Everything I've said here is factual, and anything she says about me will be spiteful, bitchy, and she'll be a loose cannon with it because she can't control her emotions, where I've actually, you know, give it to you as it is, you know, just how it is. And I knew she was going to go live about me, and I know she'll be spitting, and I know she'll be angry, and I know she'll tell me to suck on a fucking lemon, you CUNT, like she told me last time. You know, what did she say? I have screenshots of that. It's all on Rochelle Medium. Yeah, she literally, it was all about Rochelle Medium. Your video has 2.2 million views. What video, Ant? What video has 2.2 million views? Why am I so red tonight? I was freezing cold again. Yeah, no, I just want to literally. Yeah. No, it's actually early there for her, isn't it? You guys should be feeling really lucky because I said up to 2217. I don't think I've got a video at 2.2 million. But you know, the slide, no, it's 2.2 million. It was about 300,000 before I came live. At that point it was. See, Stace, that's what I mean. Like, she's not live, where people's like, okay, well, she's got several different accounts. To be fair, like, there will be a live at some stage. There will be a live about me, and there'll be a hate campaign, and there will be posts made about me. But do you know what? If it's not about the missing person family, I can take that. I'm a big girl. Do you know what I mean? I've literally been through a lot of other stuff, and I am expecting it. Do you know what I mean? So, whose box is she in? Is it Miguel? If it's Miguel, I'll literally just roll over and die now.
He is live.
Yeah. Who with?
2 women.
Oh, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? Everything I've told you, I've shown you evidence for. She's going to play the victim. You know, what we've got to remember is all of her money is made by these claims. So if she's discredited, she has to go on to something else. Now, one of the things she's put on her business webpage, which I think is really telling, and I'll just show you quickly because it basically, where did I save it? This is on a completely different job that she's got. I'm just trying to find it because it's so small here. Is that it or not? Yeah. So Rochelle Beatty has a flair for creativity and excels in creative gift ideas and designs. Her ability to assess a situation and come up with the perfect product for your client is always spot on. Her ability to write just the right words for the project is also proven to be exactly what was required. So she can change things. And I did have another page, but I don't know what I've done with it now. Is that it? No. No. That's not it. I've got too many screenshots going on here. Yeah, 100%. This is really important. I didn't show you this earlier, but I meant to, right? So this is Rochelle on a live, right? Okay. She's gone live on TikTok, right? She's drawn a circle around this bit of the river, and then she said, this is where Josh Shaw is. This is his face, right? So she's actually put this out. This is actually just a stick. So obviously I can show it because obviously it's not anything harmful. But she's literally put this out on live where she's saying she's trying to help the family, saying this is his face, right? So you're trying to find a missing boy and you think this is okay to put out. And then a family member, is this the right one? No, not this one. That's what someone else sent me. Where's that post? Is that it? Nope. Oh no, that's a different one. That's a fact-free thing. Let me find it. This is what happens when you got 900. So this family member has responded to her putting out these pictures, saying, look, if you know or you've got something useful to say, or then post pictures saying you see something in the river, this is distressing a family member. None of us want to see this. It's really getting his nan down. She's so stressed out. Can you imagine that? Having people come on your Facebook group where you're looking for your loved one and you're just asking people to search and people are sucking things going, does that look like his face? Like, I'm glad people are telling her. I'm glad, Alison. I'm glad people are listening because what I am not... Quick blurb. Amanda, basically, Rochelle Medium has... Oh, Maka, you're here. Oh, hello. You didn't send me a heart me. No offence. Basically, what I've put out today is loads of evidence that Rochelle Medium is a fraud, that she's using the missing people's stories and she's putting them out as her own. If you go onto YouTube on @CometCrime, after this, I'm going to upload the whole video. What, Erin, what's your story? I've not heard your story before. What's your story with her? Yeah, well, there's one woman, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but there's a woman missing in Australia and there's a £1 million reward or $1 million reward. So she's becoming completely obsessed with it because she wants that reward. It's not about helping people. She's been thrown off of the Samantha Murphy boards because the family actually had a fuck enough of her and said, what are you doing? Like, she's been asked to leave. Like, this is a case in Australia, and this is because the Australians know already. The Australians know who she is. It's fine if she's live, I'm expecting it. Yeah, there you go, Janine Vaughan. So, finally, Maka, no offence. There's Misty in here as well. Where's her army?
Hey.
Yeah?
You've seen it coming that she was going to go live about you, didn't you? You've seen it coming.
I know she's going to, but at least she's not drawing any of her pictures to send to families.
Also, quick question. Did she get involved in Nicola Bully? Did she try to?
Yes. Hi, Misty. She actually said, and there's posts on Facebook, I will get it for next time. She said that she found Nicola Bully and somebody put, no, you didn't. Jason Rothwell did. He's the medium that found Nicola Bully. And she put, yeah, but I was going to tell people to search there tomorrow. Which, sorry, you have to laugh at that because you cannot do that. You know, you cannot literally say, I solved that case, and then someone go, well, no, because someone else, the police found, yeah, well, I was going to tell the police to go there tomorrow because she couldn't let it go. And do you know what she said about Samantha Murphy? So for people who don't know, because we're in the UK, obviously, Samantha Murphy is the woman, the mother who went on a jog in Australia. I don't know the ins and outs of the whole case. I haven't covered it yet. She went missing and she's not been found yet, her body, but they have arrested the boy who's killed her, like he's a 22-year-old lad or whatever. Now, she's been telling people in videos for months that Samantha Murphy had a medical emergency. So she kept saying, no, this isn't foul play, it's medical emergency. She's had a medical emergency, I've seen it, it's her head and all this. And then the day that he was arrested, she removed all of her Samantha Murphy content, and she said, I've removed my Samantha Murphy content because I didn't want to be disrespectful to the family because I've been updated that it's a criminal case. And I'm like, well, yeah, no, that's fine, G, I knew she was going to, that's fine. She can bite me at the end of the day. Nothing I've said has been personal, like it will be about me. Everything I've said is true. How can I ding the live? She's in. What do you mean ding the live? Yeah, no, everything I've said is 100% true. Yeah, she always says this. She, a cease and desist from a fake Texas law firm. You know what I say to Texas law firm? Yeehaw. Do you know what I mean? I'm not asked. I literally, yeah, I've got the letters from the attorney that she put out where none of the spellings were correct and everything. She will block you all because she's a scam artist. Now, if people showed loads of receipts about me in any kind of way, nothing would hurt me apart from if people were saying that I didn't care about the crime cases I cover. But I think I've proved myself long enough for over 16 months now, going live every night in my own time, sometimes for like £2, and doing hours upon hours of cases, and researching the cases so thoroughly. I'm proud of the work I do on here. So no one could at this time, no one could take any of the anything away from me on here. You can call me chubby and say I've got no eyebrows, and they are actually true, but you couldn't say anything else. You couldn't say anything else. So, yeah, that's fine. I called it earlier when I spoke to Loyal Queen. I said to her, she will go live about me, and she won't be able to hold her tongue because she's so emotionally explosive that she will get angry and she will be spitting from the mouth and she'll call me all kinds of things. She'll tell me to suck a lemon, you can't, like last time. And then she will just fizzle out. Do you know what I mean? There'll be no facts, no nothing. So with the Welsh lady. Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, it's a fake lawyer she has. Like, why would anyone in Texas support someone in Australia suing people in the UK? Like, does she not think that doesn't make sense in any kind of way? All she wanted was for people to give her. Is anyone actually requesting the box who actually wants to come live? Because I'm I know people press it by accident. All she that doesn't make any sense at all. Like none. And as for a cease and desist, international criminal law doesn't work. It makes no sense, Maka. Why would you pay a company in a different currency to you to do these long-term things when you could just go and get no win, no fee against anyone? You can't sue someone for defaming you when you've told 100% the truth and you've shown receipts and facts. It's very hard for her to go into court and prove as a psychic medium that a body got found in a hotspot that she pointed out that was 20 miles in radius, that she was the one that found them, especially when families coming forward saying, I've never spoke to you before. I didn't show you the email, did I? I didn't show you the email from the search group in the UK who she's been telling everyone online that she works with. I didn't show you, and I meant to because it's part of my evidence. Yeah. So, first of all, they were emailed, and look, you can see it's at info beneath the surface uk.co.uk. They're actually a search group, yeah. So they said, hi, I've been aware of you for some time, the brilliant work you do. I've seen you were involved in searches for Reece Roger, Peter Baglin, Daniel Hives and others. I don't know if you're aware, but a medium called Rochelle says she was involved in helping find a lot of people in the UK, including the 3 I mentioned that you were looking for. I was wondering if you could give me some advice. Do you work or have you worked with Rochelle? And has she helped you locate any missing people? Would you recommend her? Thank you for the advice. Charlie. Now, obviously, he's worded that email as if he's not pro or against her, so he's not asked for a certain kind of response. And then no, not yet, not as far as I know. Before I came live, she hadn't been found. So is that the right one, or have I put up the same one again? No, I have. Okay, but hi. We have been made aware of Rochelle on her previous searches because she keeps complaining. I can confirm we do not work with Rochelle or any other mediums. We conduct our water searches methodically and cover all possible areas to the best of our ability using sonar, underwater ROVs and visual dive checks. While we can never give guarantees, this is the most effective way for us to be able to search the areas and give the highest possible availability that the areas are clear. As mentioned, we have never worked with Rochelle or any medium. And let me just show you the top of that email minute so you can see it actually comes from them. From Phil Jones at beneaththesurface.co.uk, the search company. Okay. As mentioned, we never worked with Rochelle or any medium, nor received any relevant information from anyone locating to missing people. I would recommend caution in using anyone other than official search teams who are trained, qualified, experienced, and have adequate equipment to conduct missing person searches safely and effectively. These are delicate and complex situations and many factors that need to be considered and may well be overlooked by those not adequately trained or experienced. I would like to recommend that people are cautious of potential internet detectives and would advise against making any payments of any kind. No official search team would ever ask for a payment. But this is a company that she spoke about on live several times and told people that she's helped them locate people and she's led them on certain searches even when they've not found people. She should have seen you coming from her, to be fair. Sorry, but that is a funny comment. She should have predicted it. Ocean got info in once box. Have I got anyone in my box? I normally only let Fat Freak in my box.
Hi, Hayley.
Hiya.
I know, well, you probably don't remember, but I helped expose Fia.
I do remember your voice, actually.
Yeah, I actually was the one that called because I live in her neighborhood.
Yeah,
and I
have
called
you changed your name?
the sheriffs. Yes.
Yes,
So
of
that
course.
whole fiasco is going on.
Yeah.
But Rochelle has attacked me, has attacked my friends. So I've been watching this whole situation with this poor little boy from Tennessee, Sebastian Rogers.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm very familiar with psychic mediums. I have a friend that actually works with law enforcement that does this, but she never, ever reaches out to families. Law enforcement reaches out to her or families reach out to her. So I'm aware of how it works. And I know people have different ways of working. So when I first came across Rochelle, I was there was a couple red flags, but I hadn't watched her enough. So I kind of just sat back and then I started realizing like there's something off about her. And another fake psychic had also reached out to this boy's father. And this other psychic was also involved in other high profile cases. This is what they do. They look for these people to insert themselves in high profile cases. So I was on a live and I basically told people, because Rochelle was creating these maps and having people look all over the place. And I was on a live and I said, listen, if you are open to psychic mediums, please be careful of who you're following. And at that point, I had not named Rochelle. I was using general terms. And I said, there's a lot of fraudulent people out there. And if you're going to follow a medium, it should be an evidential medium, not somebody that's using maps, Google Earth, or anything like that. And she came into the live a few minutes later and she was pissed and she addressed me. And remind you, I had not mentioned her name. And she said, I'm getting information that you're talking about me. And I said, I did not mention your name. I'm talking about any medium in general. People need to be aware. And this is coming from somebody who believes in it. I believe in it.
I do too.
So she, from that day on, and there was a group of ladies that had her up on their panel and they had a very large platform. And from that day on, I was attacked, and I have been getting attacked on this platform for 2 months now, me and my friends. One of my other friends has her own platform, and it's been nonstop. So Rochelle has me mentioned in her little rants and stuff. And, I actually was the one that called the attorney's office to let them know about her. And they took information from me. I spoke with the attorney. They were not aware of it. I sent them screenshots. And then a couple hours later, they came out with an announcement on their Facebook page that they were made aware that they were not representing her. And then she got really pissed. Then she claimed that she was a victim of a Nigerian scammer who was posing as the attorney. None of that's true. She wants to sit there and claim that she went on a rant just the night before last with me. One of my other friends called her out too. She told her followers to find out where she works and call her job and try to get her fired. I mean, the woman is not well, in my opinion. She is not well. She needs help. And it's sad because I had people reach out to me too, the way that they've reached out to you, providing information. And when I started to share that information, that's when she really gets pissed. And I was like, this woman country hops. When she gets exposed in her own country, she moved to the UK. She got exposed there. Now she's come here to the US and she's getting exposed and she's freaking out, But this is not how an ethical medium works. And I don't know if you're aware of Matilda, the medium, but she attacked her. And Matilda is actually a real celebrity medium. And Matilda had to address it on her own platform. And Rochelle's just ridiculous because she claims, I'm going to get a solicitor and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Sweetheart, do it. Come at me. I will literally wipe my rear end with your cease and desist letter. That means nothing. You are a complete fraud. And what bugs me is that you are doing this to victims, people that are hurting. This boy's father has asked her to stop, she doesn't though. And she literally has people on these wild goose chases for 2 months now. She claims she has 100% accuracy, but yet she's never found anybody. Nobody.
That's what I mean. I have to vouch for Matilda. Like, I've had a reading from Matilda. Matilda gave me a reading about 9 months ago, and she literally was amazing. She was making me cry. I've got it recorded. She did it literally out of the goodness of her heart because she saw what I was doing on the app. So I actually do believe in mediums. This isn't an attack because I don't believe in mediums. This is literally me calling out someone's behavior and somebody actually using the pain of people at the most vulnerable time. Like, I don't give a shit how she makes her money, honestly. I don't care if people want to go for readings and she's not particularly accurate. But when you're preying on people who have lost people and have found your loved one's body and she's using that as a time to attack you and bring you down, like, I have a real problem with that.
Yeah, I agree. And, she claims that I'm jealous of her because I wanted my friend on the case. And the fact of the matter is, I actually did ask my friend to help on a case. And she told me, never will I do that again, because the family themselves have to reach out to her or law enforcement. My friend does not want her face out there. She's worked several high profile cases here in the US. Law enforcement calls her. She doesn't want her name out there. She doesn't want recognition. She's a very humble person. And so my friend was never going to be involved in this anyways, ever. So she's wrong about that. Like you, I have a real big problem with people trying to profit, whether it's off of money or views and clicks and likes, whatever, off of other people's pain. It's not okay. And these people are at their most vulnerable.
100%. I believed her in the beginning. I honestly believed her because she was telling me the success rate and she had people vouching for her and she had the whole internet believing like she'd solved certain cases. It was only when I realized she was hurting people that I started reaching out and speaking to the families directly, when I thought, oh my God, this is actually really dangerous. Someone's just said she's having a cuss rant online now, calling all kinds of names. And that's exactly what I mean. Like, I have no bad feelings towards her. I'm not going to talk about her looks. I'm not going to swear about her. I'm not going to ask people to message her or anything. If anything, people are better just blocking because, she is not well, I don't think, but I don't think it's the stage where she doesn't know what she's doing. She's 100% knowing that she is making her livelihood off the pain and suffering of other people.
Yeah. And, we've had to expose other people too that were frauds. That were on the same platform as her. There was 2 other people. And, the thing is that when you can expose people off of their own words, that tells a lot. She literally, I have a video of her saying, I am 100% accurate. I have 100% accuracy. No legitimate medium will ever say that. Ever. It's ridiculous. And if you have 100% accuracy, Rochelle, Why haven't you found this boy yet? With your, what, we're on like map number 200 and something probably. Here's the thing, what she does. There's another psychic medium that's on YouTube, and her name is Psychic Sleuth.
Yeah.
She is very accurate. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
I don't know her.
She actually put out, so there is a case here in the U.S. It was happened a little over a year ago. That's called the Idaho 4 murders, and it was 4 college students. Psychic Sleuth, and unfortunately, ironically, I should say, her name is also Rochelle.
Okay.
So she put out information before Brian Koberger was ever arrested. She had so many hits, including his name, Brian. She got a hit on his name. She got what he looked like. She got many of the factors of what he did. Even hit on the fact that there was something to do with law enforcement. There was some kind of connection between him and law enforcement. Well, part of his PhD program, he had to volunteer at the police department for a certain amount of hours. So she got that right. So the Riley Strain case in Tennessee, that was also where this little boy Sebastian is living, Psychic Sleuth put out, she has stuff time-stamped, she put out, I think it was 3 days before Riley was found, what day she felt that he was going to be found. And she even specifically said at the barge, he was found in a river, at a barge, underneath the barge. She literally said the word barge. So as soon as she puts her stuff out there, Rochelle goes and follows, and then she takes it as her own. And then she even did a reading kind of where she felt Sebastian was going to, where they needed to look for him. And so Rochelle had all these other hot spots. Her hot spots is what she calls them. And as soon as, Psychic Sleuth brought in a forensic astrologist to kind of help with the mapping that she did. And so she created a map, and Rochelle turned her hotspot to exactly where Psychic Sleuth said was focusing on. So she takes other people's, things and tries to take them as her own. But it's really sad because the people that came at me for exposing her as being a fake, they attacked me forever for it. And now they're not even dealing with her, because they got tired of running around. She literally had them on an alpaca farm, waking up the owner of an alpaca farm at night.
It doesn't surprise me.
It's insanity.
She's saying, so Rochelle's live, and she's basically saying that I've altered all the messages and that she has been set up by trolls. But the voice clips I played you and all of the evidence that are on the group on Facebook are actually her speaking. Actually, unless someone's made an AI robot because she's so famous and everyone's so jealous, it's actually coming from her mouth. And these families have had direct contact with her real Facebook. And the messages I've showed you and the one I read to you is actually from the actual family member's account. I didn't have time to ask the auntie if I could actually show you the screenshots because this is a missing person. It's a copy of her voice.
It's a problem when families are asking her to stop and she refuses.
But this is the thing, like she's saying now, I've made a copy of her voice, right? So this is how ludicrous this is, right? She's come live panicking, and instead of saying, actually, I've acted in a really knobhead way here, but I am a psychic medium, I'm going to try to do better, what she's doing is saying such ludicrous things that it's given me more credibility and everyone else who's worked towards this more credibility, because, you know what I mean? There is a real shame when you get called out, where you would just come offline for a bit and actually just lay low a little bit or move on to another platform rather than coming live and expect people to believe you've been AI copied, someone's copied your voice, someone else took over you hacked your screen. Like all the stuff she's telling you guys now is just absolutely mad.
It's fantastical.
What can you hear again, Lisa? Hear her saying that Josh's family are all druggies and they've literally refused. Yeah, this is her voice of her live.
Talking about, I sent you there to that exact location to find him. I told you where to look. He was like 100 meters, 200 meters from the bridge thing that I sent to you as the focal that I drew. everything that I do.
Let me zoom in and see if I can look.
And he's like, no,
It's off this live video off her profile.
And another medium that was his partner's father gave me the information that the only reason they actually went to that spot was because of me. Everything I drew was there, and they weren't going there before they got on a family chat.
See, that's her. See, this is what I mean, right? So if sometimes I put up a video, yes, okay. So I sometimes put up a video about a crime case, and a family member will contact me and say, "Can you take that down, please? Because we're already in a lot of pain and we don't want it up." So I say, "Yeah, cool, I'll take it down." Now, I would never dream of them firing up a live and being like, "Them disgusting pricks." Like, do you know what I mean? This is what she's doing. All right, Wes. So this is what she's doing. She's literally gone live now to call me names and stuff. But actually, that's because people are saying to her, Josh's family saying you haven't found him. So she's going, do you know what I mean? Because no one's allowed to question her.
Yeah.
And that's so dangerous to say you've got 100% accuracy. Like, why aren't you doing the lottery then? If you have 100% accuracy and you're never wrong, why are you begging on GoFundMe? Why aren't you in the lottery every fucking week? Because you're amazing.
Exactly.
You have all-seeing eye.
Why are you begging for a van? Somebody bought her a van to go searching for her team.
I know.
You shouldn't be on welfare. You shouldn't be on government assistance if you are a world or a famous medium. Have you heard her say she's as famous as the Queen? That's insanity.
She charges $120 every half an hour. So why are you asking people to pay your rent, buy you a van, buy you a new phone?
Pay her guinea pig bills. It's always something. There's at least 6 different GoFundMes that she has up. It's ridiculous.
You know what I mean? It's just and I'm not if Rochelle's camping this or any of that, like, I don't care what you're going to do, but you will leave the families of missing people alone. There is somebody in my hometown right now that's missing their dad, and their children go to school with my children, and I've seen their pain, and I've seen the look on their face every day when they drop their kids off and go out missing persons flyers and look in woods for their dad. And you are on their page drawing stupid drawings and pronouncing names of places. There's nowhere he is. And they're going out in their cars and spending petrol and searching through these places because you're telling them you're a world-renowned medium who's backed by the police and verified. The reason you aren't working in Australia is because the police are onto you and you will get fucking arrested because you've upset that many people. Like, you have been told several times to leave this alone. You've told people that you're working with Peter Folding. I can guarantee you I spoke to Peter Folding. You're not working with Peter Folding. Peter Folding has no idea who you are. Like, and keep saying everyone's jealous of you. Jealous of what? Jealous of what exactly? Somebody
and then she
who
uses her son.
Family.
And nobody's talked about her son except her. She'll get on and she'll use her own son as a tool to play the victim. And that's horrible also.
No, Lee, she's never been in the UK, Lee. She literally works in Australia and she's already burned the whole community there. I've got messages where people are saying, look, she's a laughing joke of my town because she's literally upset that many people with this stupid crap. She tried to be a singer and it failed. Then she tried to be a Frozen fancy dress person who went to kids' parties, it failed. Then she tried to be an actress and a voice actress, it failed. Then she started up her own business where she was trying to form people's businesses, and then she settled on Medium. So it wasn't something she's been doing her whole life, or she one day had a kind of vision and she realized she could help people. She literally was Elsa, and she needs to just let it go because she's not a medium. And this is getting ridiculous when you're hurting people.
Did you see her website of all her... I'm sorry, but her website is absolutely ridiculous. She claims to be like a media special, not a media specialist, like a web specialist. I don't remember the exact
I saw
term,
it, yeah. Where she's offering how to, if you give people gifts, they become grateful of you working for them. And then you can kind of get away with more.
There was a different one, and she has everything listed, what she does, her web creations, her singing, her psychic, all the things. And I thought, you don't even have this website. I don't know what I'm doing, and I have built a better website than she did, and this is supposed to be what she does for a living. It's crazy.
Yeah, she's literally like the GoFundMe, for instance, right? She's saying she never set that up and she doesn't have access to the money in it because it was someone else who set it up for her and she doesn't have access to it anymore. But it actually says on the GoFundMe set up by her, and then she speaks about her. So it's set up by, it says Rochelle Beatty is the organizer of this fundraiser, and then she spoke about herself in glowing phrases because it's her own doing. So she's put, Rochelle is a hardworking medium who helps the family of missing people for free. She has a huge success rate in what she does. To do this, Rochelle uses a lot of her energy and, of course, all of her time. Rochelle is a single mum of her young son, who she's named, which she should never do and I'm not going to do, who has special learning difficulties and therefore is homeschooled by herself. She's Superwoman, right? Like, she's putting about herself. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're that much of a narcissist that you're writing it about yourself, and then you're calling yourself Superwoman. Running a home, being a single mum, a teacher, her private readings, and of course helping the family of missing people. Rochelle rarely asks for any help. Well, I've seen you ask for help about 965 times and I blocked you 9 months ago. She needs to get a bus in order to travel around helping people in Australia, go into locations. She also needs money for medical procedures that she's unable to have due to her living so far from her family. She has no support where she lives. If she doesn't have the procedure done, then unfortunately the family, she's so desperate for her help. Thank you, Mark. Won't be able to get help due to Rochelle not being well enough. There's enough of us in the group to get the help she needs. £1 from each of us will reach our target. Her cat was also dying at one stage and needed this emergency operation that people were giving money to. She needed a new phone at one time that everyone had to pay for because she needed to use that to help find missing people. So it's always, she uses the thing. Now, who doesn't want to help?
You forgot the guinea pigs.
From the GoFundMe page, Lee.
And here's the thing, her own sister and niece have literally called out that she has some kind of mental illness. They have said that.
She's just said on this live, the reason she moved house a year ago or whatever was because of all the bullies and trolls. But didn't she have a GoFundMe to move house?
Well, how would the trolls know where you are if you don't put out your address?
Her address has been leaked by somebody in Manchester. Some crazy person in Manchester.
How does someone in Manchester get her address unless she put it out?
Exactly.
A real light worker would never conduct themselves in the manner that she does. Ever, ever, ever. And I don't know anybody in the intuitive space that has enemies and trolls like her. She is something special, apparently. She's the jack of all trades and a master of none.
I'm just going to quickly see if anyone else wants to come in the box. I don't want it to turn into, I'm just going to say before I let people in the box, I let Ocean in because I know Ocean.
Hayley,
Yeah?
I'll hop down, but thank you. And like, this is now the second psychic we've exposed, because the whole Fia thing was a whole mess.
I know. I forgot she was a psychic as well. I'm going to let people in, but I'm going to put some rules in place, okay? This is not a hate campaign. I don't want any personal attacks. Anyone who fat shames anyone, makes fun of their looks, talks about her son, names her son, will be gone. This isn't an attack on a person. I don't want swearing. I don't want any of those things. I want this to be respectful, and people are only going to take me seriously and take us seriously if we do this in the right way. This is a true crime page. We work with facts and evidence. So I will let people up.
Thanks for having me up.
The power to kick.
Oh, okay.
I can kick people down.
Can you kick Ocean down? She doesn't want. Oh, yeah, okay, thanks. I don't know how to do it, to be fair. Let me see who's in the box then. And the reason I'm not letting hundreds of people up at once is because I won't hear everybody's what they're saying.
I
don't know what happened then. I don't know how to change it. You must have, because I haven't done it. Oh my God, what's happened now? Hey, Pammy. Erin's not requesting. Pammy, can you hear me? So, can you hear me? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I can hear you.
All right. I thought I'd gone crazy.
I pressed a button and I shrunk myself. That might have messed it up, sorry.
Oh, right, okay. Hello. Holly, Simone, are you supposed to be here or not? Have you come in the box by accident? I don't know if Erin's still in here because she's not requested the box. Heavy breathing.
Someone asleep?
Right, so can you kick the boxes for now and then people come up if they really want to come up? Because I think people have requested by accident. Holy snort. I do make people fall asleep during my lives quite a lot. Yeah, so I'm just literally, this was just a kind of, this is just kind of a start of it all. Like, I am expecting loads of horrible things to be said about me. I'm going to be called the worst possible name. She's going to go for my kids. She's going to try and get my address and all those kind of things. But
you have been called the C word a couple of times. You have been called the C word a couple of times and been told to go F yourself.
Cupcake.
No.
If she called me a cupcake. Yes. She's Rochelle's psychic medium, Marley. She's been extorting missing people's families and giving them wrong information and then trying to claim that she was the one that found them.
No, your favourite word. See you next Tuesday.
Huh?
She called you see you next Tuesday. Cupcakes.
Did she? She did actually tell me once. She actually messaged me once to say, "You better suck on a lemon, you dirty cunt."
That was the best Australian accent I've ever heard.
No, Zilo's not been found, and I've not really heard anything else. And his family don't want videos put up about him. BB off Dizzy. Yeah, I'm expecting it all. And like she said, I've made up an AI version of her today and played videos that I'd made myself using a puppet of her. I've also hacked all of her accounts and made these messages. She's going to take me to court. I can't wait to go back to court. Fuck the police. No, it's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Everything I put out is true. And she has threatened about another 965 people today with court. No, I know, Bob. That's what I mean. The one thing you can do is, when you want a big reaction online and you want to become the victim, is you either say your kids have been brought into it or your address have been doxed, and she's done both tonight. So thank you very much, Bob, for letting me share your posts and stuff and for sharing your story with me. I want to talk to you offline as well so we can so I can hear your whole story, because I don't just want to contact people and then just expose their stuff and then be like, okay, see you later. I do have a massive interest in missing people cases, and ask her to come in your box, not for free. You know, it is, you know, for me, this is an everyday thing I do, day in, day out, do cases. I've got something massive coming soon, guys. Obviously, for you that follow me all the time, I can't tell you what it is right now, but I can tell you it's to do with the Charlene Downs case. You know, we're getting closer with that and loads of things happening behind the scenes. While I've always told you that was an important case to me, and I've, you know, not been live about it for a couple of months and stuff, I'm constantly working with people behind the scenes. So hopefully we're going to have some news in the Luke Mitchell case soon. We're going to have some news in what we're doing in the Charlene Downs case. And there's another case, quite an old case from Lancashire that I've started to work in. Have you any information about Noah Donohoe? So I'm quite close to his mum, Fiona, and I'm going to see if she wants to come live with me in the next couple of weeks, because I have been offered lives with Noah's mum and also with Stephanie Bonner, Reese Bonner's mum. Blackpool one, Ashley, yeah, the one that was rumoured to be chopped up into kebabs and eaten. That's not true, but that's how that case is always remembered.
Apparently, you've been outed that you're bringing someone to do with Rochelle up next week.
I'm doing what?
Apparently, you are bringing someone up in your box with you next week, in a live with you next week, to out Rochelle.
I thought you said I'm going to Australia to batter Rochelle. I was going to say I can't afford to get there. I thought, no, I said next week I would come live again. And if anybody chose to tell their stories, I would be open to them doing it, but I wouldn't do it before I'd spoke to people and heard that it was relevant, because I don't want people up here going, oh, I hate her.
No.
Oh, yeah, guys, so I'm going to put a GoFundMe up later. I basically need £10,000 to go to Australia first class in order to go and have a one-to-one with Rochelle, but I need you all to pay at least £5 each, otherwise the dream will never happen for me. I also need another £5,000 because me and Rochelle want to go on a road trip around Australia together, and we're going to need a little convertible.
A corked cowboy hat as well, please.
I do need, I need to take a barbecue with me, and I need to take some beers, and I do need one of those hats with corks on. So I'm going to have to put up quite a big GoFundMe. And if everyone could just sell the kids' toys and put some money towards it, that would be amazing. Yeah, so I should have clipped that. You can. Can you imagine on an FYP page again? I've got to go fund me for a vehicle. I need a new house. I want a first class. They're like, this woman's doing true crime and all she's doing is like leaking money out of her. I literally.
Is this also going to be the honeymoon for you and Fact Freak?
I'll send you some prawns to put shrimp on my barbie. I've got some prawns actually in the fridge. I've got to have them in a sandwich tonight. Do you accept Klarna? You can swipe anything between my bum cheeks.
Fact Freak will have something to say about that. He'll get so upset. You're supposed to be married and going on honeymoon to Australia together. You can together.
My brother is a citizen of Australia now. He's been there for like 20 years, and I've got nieces and nephews over in Sydney and stuff. So obviously, because my brother is now an Australian citizen, I'm now quarter Australian, which is why I've always got a didgeridoo. So obviously, I honestly do not mind. I am expecting the hate, and if for even like a month she focuses really hard on me, then that's families that will be left alone, isn't it? So that's all we can ask for. Good day, mate. Pavlova, Wes in here, Wes with the English flag is my ex-boyfriend, and he knows that I can make Pavlova really well.
Oh my God, is he actually your ex-boyfriend? He's so funny. He makes the funniest jokes. He's made me crease in some of his comments tonight.
Well, the same jokes he's put in here tonight, he's actually WhatsApped me this morning, including one saying, what did he say? If I download a video in the Caribbean...
In Jamaica, does that make me a pirate of the Caribbean?
What, is he the one with the gecko?
What a freaking legend.
What do you mean is he the one with the gecko? Oh no, the one who I killed their salamander? No, that's not...
Don't kill Fact Freak salamander.
So the GoFundMe I read out says it was set up by Rochelle Beatty. We're here for it. I expect every time we bring awareness. Wesley, is it? Yeah. Everyone will contact you now, Wesley. Have you got any dirt on her? We need it for Rochelle. You better tell them all good things about me. That woman's calling me a cupcake. You've got to be the sweetest woman ever, willing to take the hate to protect. Oh, 100% Willow. Literally, it's what. How have you got an Elsa picture? Is that the real Elsa or is that Rochelle? Oh, it's the real Elsa.
All of this what woke her up, apparently. She was in bed asleep.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't wake her up.
Oh, well, apparently you did, mate.
I'm going to take this picture down off her before
and you're obsessed.
I'm obsessed. She, every single person, I think she's called Intuitive Scan or something. BBL Drizzy. Don't tell me my nickname.
What is BBL Drizzy? I wanted to ask you that.
I think it's I don't know what a BBL is actually. What is a BBL? I do know what it is, but I can't think of it. Big.
Is it Brazilian bum lift?
I thought it was British Basketball League.
I thought it was Brazilian bum lift.
It does mean that.
Oh.
When I typed into Google, it come up with British Basketball League.
It also speaks volumes that you've had over 1,000 people in here tonight listening to what you've got to say. At max, this live that she's in has had 160 people, and most of them have been your followers coming over and.
The thing is, to me, like, obviously it's not even about the numbers. Like, obviously I've posted it all. Have you got FYP clips? Have you got it all? Or have you just got the bit about me saying about my GoFundMe? Do you know what I mean? I literally, but every single time that someone's been even questioned Rochelle, she comes out with, you're jealous, you want to be her, you're trying to take away her fame, you're getting clout off her, and you've kept her awake longer than she wanted to be awake. That's what she was saying to Mrs. People's family. It's like, I helped you. I stayed up till 10 p.m. It's just like, you know what I mean?
Apparently you want her power.
I want her powers. I've got loads of powers, me.
They said the dates you posted were after. Aren't they silly?
But I showed the pictures with the actual dates.
I know. I'm just reading you what the comments are saying. It's quite common.
I'm not really bothered. I don't even know what they're saying. I don't want anyone to send me the screen recording or anything like that. I've actually got powers. So I've got like a Wonder Woman tattoo on my arm. So literally, I've got more powers than her. Mine are like real powers.
She hasn't seen how talented you are with your tarots. Yeah.
Yeah, I do a really good tarot card. I literally do a 52 card pickup, and whichever card I grab last, this is what my thing is. Gay David Goggins. I can bend spoons. I'm not doing another story tonight. I probably am going to come live tomorrow night to actually do a true crime story, because I did make this into an awareness live, but it was very, very important. She's apparently sending the screen recording to us. Listen, I hope so.
Need a screen recording. It's going to be on YouTube.
But do you know what she'll do now? Thank you, Rach. What she'll do now is go live tomorrow and ask for £500, or last time it was $5,000, in order to take me to court. Because I'm a hater and I'm part of a group. Like, I've come live by, I'll say thank you so much. I've come live by, and thank you for all the heart me's, guys, and all the taps today. We've got 328,000 taps tonight, and that's amazing. You know, I'm not part of any group. I'm not tied to anyone at all. This is just a girl who covers missing persons cases and talks to their families all the time. Different cases than this, obviously. Actually saying, no, I cannot watch it anymore, that you're taking advantage of these people. Like, I cannot believe, like, can't even picture a harder time than when you're desperate to find your missing loved one, especially when it's an adult. The police are like, you know, they deserve to go, they're allowed their own privacy, you know, they don't want to be found, they're gone, there's nothing you can do about this. And so you're quite often left by yourself doing searches in your spare time. I've seen families go out and find their children in hedges to decompose, all of that. Like, it's really, really horrific, the stuff I cover and the people I speak to. So to know somebody is playing on that is so horrific to me. We've covered cases before, haven't we, Soph? We've covered cases where people have phoned parents and that, and they've done like hoaxes and said, I've got your kid, or I've done this. And everyone in the room's always so upset and just like, I can't believe someone would do that. Why would anyone take advantage of a missing person's family? But this is someone who's doing it on a daily basis and is collecting cult members to help her be like believable. And I just want you guys to think, behind every single one of these claims of these 15 missing persons that she's found over the last 16 months, behind every single one of them is a family that she's terrorized, either to make them stay quiet on her hotspots, or because they won't agree with what she wants them to say. It is fraud, safe, but she's very clever because she's in Australia, and there's not many people who are going to take on a legal case with someone in Australia. And the thing is, like, so the case I talked about earlier, where I said I couldn't take the victim's name, which I'm still not going to, like, can you imagine that, right? So you're a mum and you say to her, if you've got any information at all that can help me find my daughter, I'd be so grateful. So she gets back to you and she gives you a 14-mile area along coastline. So you say to her, I'm the only one, along with the girl's sisters, who's doing these searches. So we're going out every weekend and we're doing digs and stuff. So can you be a little bit more specific? And she messages back saying, don't ever contact me again, you ungrateful bitch. Do you know how many people want my help? Like, can you imagine that? I have loads of... yeah, she will sound genuine. She will sound genuine. This is something that she's done for years. I'm going to put it, Sarah, all on YouTube on @CometCrime. This is something she's done for years, okay? And this is something, when people do this, they learn behavior. So they pick up on behaviors. They mock it back. They show emotion. They cry. They act attacked. They say, I've just had enough. I'm being bullied. This is a hate campaign. All I try to do is help people. Like, I do this for free. I burn all my energy. They use all these things, and then you feel guilty for doubting it. But I've showed you the evidence tonight. And what I want you to do is, don't take my side. Don't take her side. Stand with the missing people's families, because they're the ones that are, like, some of these families are still grieving. Do you know what I mean? Thanks, Wes. Some of these families are still grieving today. You know, her name's Rochelle Medium. And oh yeah, HJT I did as well. I literally had a live with me talking about missing persons case and that, because I honestly thought, like, oh, she's told me she's solved all these cases, and she's telling me she's working she's telling me that she's worked in this and she's worked with police, and she's so kind that she's even using her energy to work on cases in the UK. Like, do you know what I mean? Thank you, Hibbert Mum. She said you're best friends. I literally spoke to about 3 times. Jesus, all right, Martha, calm down. She didn't find Josh. I literally, were you in here, Arrow, when I read out Josh's auntie's message that she sent me this evening, like up to date, saying if we had followed her guidance, then we would never have found Josh. She's saying what? she's saying you loved her. I loved her. New one on me. I thought it was only Fat Freak I loved on the internet. Do you know what? I was honest at the beginning of this live. Obviously, she's not seen the whole live. I was honest and said I was impressed by her when I moved to the app. I believe in psychics. They've actually helped me get a lot of clarity, and they've given me a lot of comfort since I lost my dad. Like, I'm devastated about it still, and I had an amazing reading off Matilda, and it gave me a lot of kind of help with the grief. So I believe in them. So when I saw her and I thought, oh, she's dedicating all this time to missing people, and that's what my mission is on here. Obviously, I liked her. What are you saying? What she hears are two different things. Yeah, it's just I never ever have had deep conversations with Rochelle where I've said I love you by accident like I do to everyone else. Like, you know, someone come to fit a banister in my house today, and he said, "Okay, it's all done." I said, "Okay, love you." He won't be back again, and that's fine. Do you know what I mean? But I never said it to her. I've never had a phone conversation with her. We've never had a voice chat. We've never sent voice notes. It was literally a few things where I said, I'm doing a live tonight on the Madeleine McCann case. Have you got any ideas? I did actually ask her for help on the Nicola Bulley case. I think it's the only case I actually messaged her about because I'm obsessed with that case. And it was before, never told me you loved me once. Yeah, well, you didn't really earn it. It's a new thing that I do where I'm just like literally on the phone to the doctors and I'm like, what day's story you got coming? Yeah, cool. Love you. I'm pregnant. So no, it's just, I believed in her. And it was only when I'd seen certain things, like the thing with Fiona Donohoe, that broke my heart, and I really felt really responsible. I felt like I had put the mum in that place, even though I asked her 6 times, like, is it okay to do this on the live? And Fiona even says it's not my fault, but just to hear those words out of her mouth, in front of a mum, in front of 400 people in my room talking about a true crime case, I was devastated, man. I'm the same. I talked to Indian guys, so I loved him. Do you know what I mean? I literally, you know, I go to my local shop, I just slut drop and then walk out. I'm going to post it when I come off, and it's going to be on @CometCrime, all one word. I've got hardly any followers. I've literally subscribers. I've just started my channel, and I only put really, really important videos on there. So that means sometimes I just go and then walk out the school playground. Yeah. So I've said everything I've got to say on this now. I literally, next Wednesday, will come live again. Ellie, what have you missed for Fat Freak? Me and Fat Freak are going for a lawsuit at the moment because he, it's a really long story. So basically Fat Freak, I voice noted him to tell him that I said on live by accident I wanted to bum him. And then he said, well, I'm not really interested. So I said, how about if I buy you some Chinese and flowers? And then he was like, not really. So then I become his baby reindeer, started stalking him. And then he finally gave in and said, if you buy me 2 Chineses and 1 Indian, then I'll do it. Okay, Louise, I'll read it when I come off. I can't read it when I'm live. So as far as I know, me and Fat Freak are now married. I do have our wedding pictures, actually. This is what's coming out soon, which is obviously Baby Reindeer 2. Oh, yeah, this is a new documentary coming out on Netflix because Fat Freak has said that there's nothing else he can do to get rid of me. So he's actually he's sold the rights already to Netflix. So there's nothing I can do about it at this point. Apparently it's called Elimination, Not Running Around. Can you believe our friends covering? Yeah, no, just there's going to be people who always want to believe in it. Do you know what I mean?
I think I fell asleep the other night.
Huh?
I think I fell asleep the other night when you got married. Who officiated it? Was it Kiki?
No, it's Paula.
Paula did.
Scottish Paula did it. So obviously me and Fat Freak went on a slim fast diet before our wedding, and we've beefed up again since. We ate all the buffet between us. But, you know.
It's only been a week. Jesus.
Kiki, do you love me? We do love Kiki. But I think Fat Freak was quite shocked when he came in my live to drop me a heart me, and I had a picture of me and him up getting married. We are a lovely couple. Yeah, so guys, just joined her live. Some women think about calling Josh family liars. So do you know what I mean? Why are they doing that? Do you know what I mean? Why is it right? So the people on Rochelle's live, right, are in there calling Josh's family liars, right? Why would a family who you've pointed them to their loved one ever even need to lie about that? It's not like a family want to claim like we were the ones that found him. No family wants to find their own family member. But how can somebody rather... I put them up on my profile, Jill. How can somebody rather attack a missing person's family than just say to her, like, perhaps we shouldn't talk about this? Do you know what I mean? Perhaps we should attack Hayley, but perhaps we shouldn't attack the family any longer. Josh has been, like, deceased now for, like, 5 months, I believe. They're still grieving. And she is still allowing them. Like, how can you tell me that she cares about missing people when she's allowing them on a live to be slagged off the family? And she's saying, I made AI to make her slag them off. It wasn't her. But you're sat there allowing them to do it. Do you know what I mean? Hi, JJ. The reason we're calling her out was the abuse they've received after. Yeah, exactly. It's all of the things. The way that she's treated these families 100% prove that whatever she's doing, she's in for the money and not for their feelings or to find their loved ones. Because you don't attack people who've just lost people. Are you telling me stories? You make it sound like a lie. No, not tonight. I've just done a massive exposure live that's been going on since 9 o'clock. So I'm going to get off. I believe in psychics personally, and I know it's a choice. Some people do, some people don't, and I do. Do you know what I mean? She didn't give me a fucking free lemonade. Coca-Cola, Diet Coca-Cola. I do have my own Coca-Cola though, so I don't need it. I knew she was going to get spiteful, but I'd like to think people will know. It was going up on YouTube because I've just done an exposure on Rochelle Medium. She's saying it's scammers that do that shit, but then she's still there letting them just like say horrible things about the family. I showed that post where she's literally said, like, your own family member who's just been found dead would be disgusted in you. He'd be so angry at you and stuff. How have you got the fucking right to talk about how their family member is feeling? They are, Bob. I'm going to let her just literally cause herself shit for a bit. Like, literally show her true colours. And then I'll come alive again next Wednesday and we'll do some more. And we'll literally talk about it some more, and we'll answer all the things that are being said about the cases this week and all the kind of things that she brings up, and I'll collect some more evidence and I'll work together with Loyal Queen again. And then until she stops and leave these families alone, we will keep doing it. Tell her Jennifer her daughter's been moved in sick. Oh my God, I didn't even know that.